Welcome to the Buzzworthy Women Podcast. Today's guest is Melanie Benson, an authority amplifier and author of Rewired for Wealth. She hosts the popular podcast Amplify Your Success, where she helps experts achieve million-dollar visibility and stop being a best-kept secret. Since 2000, Melanie has helped online business owners, course creators, speakers, and service professionals stand out in a crowded market, creating magnetic messages and significantly boosting their revenues by leveraging their unique business superpower. Melanie blends practical growth strategies with heart-based coaching, offering a unique accelerator for those ready to break through their earning limits. Leveraging her advanced training and a decade of Fortune 500 experience, she propels entrepreneurs to their next level. Get ready to be inspired as we dive into the world of business growth and visibility with today's guest, Melanie Benson. Melanie, welcome on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm super honored, Tori. Thank you. I know this, having talked to you previously, this is going to be a hot conversation, so can't wait to dig in.
I know it's going to be fun. Like I said, kind of in the green room, I was doing my research before our call and I was getting excited learning about all the things that you do and the offerings that you have and how you help business owners, really amplify and, get become the best kept secret that's no longer hidden, right? That's like the
Right.
whole framework. So I'm
Yes.
excited because I think for myself, I can learn for sure, and our listeners will definitely have some golden nuggets to pull away from this episode. So let's dive in and tell us how you earned the title of the Authority Amplifier.
Mm. I think it happened very accidentally, and it was literally from trying to figure out what do my clients need the most that they're missing that would allow them to easily make these 4 and 5 figure offers and have
Yeah.
them sell. And I knew I was having this happen. It was easier for me than it was for a lot of my clients. And so this was about 7 years ago. I started digging deeper into what is missing when somebody has a really valuable offer, but it's not selling. And then even
Yeah.
deeper, it took me down this rabbit hole, Tori, of wait a minute. So why is it some people, when they do work with a client, they're having these extraordinary outcomes, but they're having a hard time attracting clients in general?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
started to notice that the people that this was easy for, whether it was myself or some of my peers, their authority was recognized quickly,
Mm,
easily. They were a recognized authority in the marketplace. So the community knew what they did, they understood the problem that they solved, and they were willing to invest top dollar because their credibility and their track record spoke for itself.
yeah.
And that was what I started to focus on with my clients when they were having this gap. And I started to
Yeah.
see, okay, when we use content and messaging and showcases like podcast guesting or whatever, speaking on stages, and that authority goes up because we're borrowing influence from other influential
Right.
people, this
Right.
gets easier. So that's kind of where it started. And then, I had my own track record start to emerge. It didn't just work for me, it was working also for my clients. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I think I'm meant to actually just really pivot my whole focus to lean into this. And I love it. I just love seeing these tiny tweaks that have massive impact on their sales,
Yeah.
on their confidence, on their brand
Mhm.
recognition, just kind of makes the whole machine work a lot easier.
It's so interesting because I just came back from a women's retreat a couple weeks ago, and there was about 10 six-figure business owners there. And we did some masterminding and we had these conversations about like growth and, struggles and that sort of thing. And one of the common themes of all of these women was visibility
Mhm.
and building their authority in their space. And they're like, I know I'm an expert. I know I can do this. I have 20 years plus experience, but nobody is, the leads aren't coming my way or can't find the right leads, that sort of thing. So it's so interesting to hear these successful women who have been kind of trying to figure it out, just grinding to get to where they are now, and knowing that they're all having these same challenges. So it's like, okay, there's something like we got to figure this out, ladies, because, we know we're experts and we can't be that best kept secret anymore because we have so much to give and, so much expertise to share and help with our clients.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple different reasons why I'm seeing this trend, this conversation behind the scenes, happening more and more, and part of it is just practically, our whole industry has changed.
Yeah,
And I think what used to work to attract clients isn't working as well anymore. And a lot of people, their marketing and lead generation practices haven't pivoted with change in the industry. And so I think
very
there's a
true.
very kind of like everybody's experiencing a similar thing in that regard. And then the second thing is I think a lot of people, and I've talked to clients about this, and they've said, I got lazy. I got lazy. Like I had so many referrals coming in that I didn't have to market. I didn't have to worry about being visible. And when those referrals kind of slowed down and their other lead generation stopped working as well, Tori, they're like, okay, holy moly, what am I going to do now? I need to actually take control of my lead generation. And they
Mm,
hadn't primed the pump to be more visible. And that's not a habit they've developed. So it's kind of like this new mysterious, like, okay, what am I supposed to do to be more visible? And then the third thing, a lot of people know they need to be visible, but they're not sure how to do it in a way that gets them results.
right.
And they
Yeah.
don't want to
Well,
squander that visibility.
right. And it's like my background's in marketing, right? And so I always hear, clients will say, "Oh, well, I don't need marketing," right? They've got enough business, sales are happening, but then when the leads dry up and business shifts or consumer behavior shifts and you haven't been doing that consistent marketing, then where's all the leads, right? So it's all
Mhm.
about that consistency, brand building, visibility. And then, personally, it's about having the confidence to know that you're the expert in that space and, the offering that you have. So totally.
Yeah, and I think if we were all being super duper honest, right? Most of the people who are very heart driven in their work are not necessarily in love with marketing.
Mm,
And I know I can certainly relate to that in the sense that in the beginning, like when I started my business in 2000, I rejected all marketing effort. Like I am not doing any of that. That feels weird. It's like if I build it, they should come. And it
right,
doesn't work
right.
that way, right? And so then we try to outsource all the marketing and get other people to do it for us, and that does work partially, but there is something very powerful and magnetic to the person who does the work being showcased and your
Right.
clients getting to feel who you are. They get your energy, they get your passion, they hear your message. Like I actually met somebody a couple, well, I mean, I've known this person for a really long time as a friend, but I went out and toured his facility. And for the first time I heard his origin story, all of a sudden I was like, I don't know what I have to do, but I have to support this guy. Like everything about him
Yeah.
was magnetic and compelling. And that's what happens when people get to experience the founder, the owner, the person who does the vision of has the vision of the company,
Yeah. Yeah.
delivers the service.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so true. I think some people try to hide behind a brand,
Mhm.
but the personal human element is what really makes the difference.
It's that connection I think that we crave.
Yeah.
And we
So,
also we wanna know that people are real. Like, there's a
right.
lot of, mysterious marketing, right? It's like, "Can I trust this? Is this
Yeah.
credible?" And when we feel your energy, Tori, you've been bringing these amazing conversations through Buzzworthy Women, and it's like we feel your energy. It's like we know you're real, and that's what we
Right.
crave is, like, we want real human connection. We wanna trust the people we work with, and this is one of those vehicles that allows that trust to spark and to start to be cultivated.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's a couple of words that we've been using kind of throughout the conversation, which are authority and expertise.
Mhm.
Can you talk about what the difference is between those two?
So, expertise is you have a proven track record with something you do, and like I'm an expert in messaging, I'm an expert in sales, I'm an expert in authority positioning, I'm an expert in a lot of in mindset. Like I'm an expert in a lot of things. Authority is, at least in my opinion, when you allow other people, like, you do the work to position that authority so it's very clear why you over the 20 other people who have a similar expertise. So the authority edge, if you will, is how you are the unique deliverer of that solution or that opportunity or that goal that with your clients. And so it just gives you that advantage in the marketplace. It's like, why should I choose Tori over, and sometimes it's like 200 or 2,000 people that sound a little bit or a lot just like you.
Right. Absolutely. I think dead on. There's so many people who do the same things, but it's how your uniqueness that sets you apart, because not everybody's meant to work with one type of person, and so you have to really find your people, if you will.
Yeah. And again, like, being in the visibility spotlight is one way to do that, but also I think your messaging plays a significant role. I know you would agree with this. It's like your message is a window into who you are and how you are. But the thing is, if you only rely on the one-dimensional message,
Yeah.
that doesn't do enough to crack through that credibility barrier, because people need to like, they're craving, like, is this person real? Is
Right.
this just a something they wrote, or is this really who they are on every level?
Yeah. So how do people identify when they have that lack of authority positioning in their marketplace?
Mm. Well, I think one big glaring red flag is your competitors, right? Like the people who do something similar are getting all the leads, all the opportunities, all the
Mhm.
business, and you're not. So you
Right.
might have that moment where you see 3 or 4 people who do something similar. They're the ones that got asked to be on a stage, or they're the ones getting the invitations to the podcast. They're the ones that the clients go, "Oh my god, I'm working with so and so and so and so," because they had the authority, they had the message, they had the marketing, they had the visibility at the moment in time that person went looking for solutions or looking for speakers. And I think
Yeah.
that's a clear red flag or white flag, a sign that your authority is maybe diminished. And it's, I mean,
Mm,
we know how much of a badass you are. Like, you are buzzworthy. But if your audience and your community isn't recognizing, it's because
yeah.
you're not taking the steps to showcase it properly. So that's one.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you don't have a practice of regularly demonstrating what I call your authority content on social, through your emails, through vehicles like this, then
Yeah.
chances are you are an invisible expert. You
Mm,
know what you do, your clients know what you do, but not enough new people know what you do. And so when they go looking for solutions, you're not on their radar.
right. So when clients come to you and they're saying, I know I have this amazing tool or this offer, I just am not getting the visibility. What are some of
Mhm.
the steps, or what's the direction that you put them on so that they can break through that barrier?
Yeah. Well, I'll share an example. I have a program I teach called the 100K Authority Accelerator. And the whole idea is in 12 weeks, we're going to figure out how to get another $100,000 coming into your business, because your visibility is really strategic and targeted towards your ideal clients. And I took a client through this. I took a group through this earlier this year. I've been doing this several times now. And there was this one woman who she'd made millions in her business, but something had shifted for her, and she kinda stumbled a little bit, that stumble when maybe something doesn't work the way you think it should work, and you take your
Yeah.
foot off the gas, and then you take a step back, and then you take about 10 steps back, and now you make up a story about, like, "I'm not ready. I don't have all my pieces in place," and now all of a sudden your brain is thinking, "Okay, this isn't working anymore." And so all of a
Mm,
sudden we have this backwards landslide, and she just needed clarity. So the first thing that we do is get clear, like, what is your authority? I always call it,
yeah.
like, what do you want to be known for? And taking her through that very simple foundational step, she realized, oh my gosh, I've stopped sharing what I'm good at. I
Yeah.
just started reacting, and I started, um, like not putting myself out there because I had this whole story made up that it wasn't working. And then the second thing we do is we design what the content pillars are. Like, what are the elements of what you do? And then we transform that into a magnetic message that people can take out in several different ways to be more visible. For some people, it's speaking. For other people, it's being able to borrow visibility streams like podcasts and online shows and be a guest on those shows. For some people, it's like really leaning into their social content strategy. I like doing all of it because I think it's kind of a multi-pronged approach to really building up that buzz and momentum. And for some people, they actually need to take ownership. I call it like building your authority trifecta, because I think one level is what you do to borrow that visibility. But I think on a certain level, if you want to be generating consistent six figures in your business, you need to have ownership of an authority platform.
Right.
Like Buzzworthy Women Podcast, like Amplify Your Success
Yeah.
podcast, or an event, or you've written a book, or multiple things that way. And that
Yeah.
really takes that authority to another level. So it's evaluating what's the right authority positioning strategy for you and what are you willing to do and capable of doing consistently. And then it's just about consistency from that place, Tori. You
Yeah.
gotta be consistent, right? And there's some other things in there, like you need to know what your back end is, because if you don't have clarity about what you're selling and how to guide people into that sale, you know this from the work you do, nothing's gonna work well. Because it's literally like you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall going, okay, well, maybe this taco will bring some people in, or this lead magnet will work, or if I drop some Facebook ad money, maybe people will say yes to that. And it's just spray and pray, instead
Yeah.
of really like leaning in and being known for something and being the go-to person there. There
Mhm.
is a lot of impact and income waiting for you when you really lean into the thing that only you do in this way that solves such an important problem for your most favorite clients, and
Yeah.
amplify that.
Yeah. Now talk about, because you're talking about this right now, and what's coming to mind for me is being specific on a certain thing, right? Not
Yes.
having 5 or 10 different specialties or authorities. Like talk about why it's so important to have one core authority.
Okay, so this is me taking you back in my stupid mistake journey, right? It's like the accidental authority amplifier made all the mistakes, right? Like I
You
got
got to learn your own
really,
lessons, right?
yes, of course. Like I didn't do any of this super well on my own. I had to learn a lot of this, and I had really brilliant mentors who showed me in my blind spot how I was getting in my own way. And one of them was I started getting known for too many different things because
Mm,
I'm passionate. Like there are a lot of good things I can do. When people work with me at mastermind level or privately, we're working on a lot of different things. But the world at large isn't going to recognize why you need all that. They want to know, what can you do to solve my
right.
problem? And if you're trying to be all things to all people, A, it's very complicated marketing. It's expensive marketing, and people are like, I don't get it. So for me,
Right.
I went, going back in time, like I was known for helping people with their money mindset. I was known for productivity. I was known for helping people build teams. And yes, I do all those things, but it wasn't really my passion. And honestly, it wasn't until I got to visibility and authority that my passion intersected with the mindset, with the
Yeah.
strategic leverage strategies that I just like, yes, those financially that can really help you take off. But there's just something about helping people really get clear what they want to be known for and developing the messaging and the positioning and the visibility strategy that actually produces 5 and 6 figure months for them. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why I did all those other things. So when I had this pivotal moment about 10 years ago, this young man reached out to me and he said, I love your energy. I love like listening to you teach, but I don't really get what you do. Where should I start? I was
Yeah.
like, hmm, problem. Yeah.
Yeah. You're all,
And
thank you for that.
yes, like, yes, you're right. It could be a little confusing. And so I went on my own journey of like, what do I really want to be known for? And I realized that specificity sells, because
Mm,
there's a relevance. And this is part of my messaging formula that I teach. It's called Rock's method of messaging. But relevance and specificity tell people why when in their journey they need you and why you over someone else. And
Mm,
I'm sure, Tori, you've gone to hire people for different things, or you've been considering of, like a coach or a mentor or a mastermind or whatever, we're looking for.
absolutely.
And when you can't quite get what somebody does because they're doing too many different things, it's like, hmm, I don't know. A great example of this is
Yeah.
I was hiring an online business manager a while back, and I was in a community where a lot of people were saying, "Yes, I do that." But I would go look at their profile and I'm like, it says you're a cookie artist. Like, what do you
Yeah.
actually do?" And
Right.
multi-passionate people really struggle with this a
Mm,
lot. And there's something very powerful about, at least to the public, choose a lane, get well known for that. You can adapt it and evolve it over time, but allow
mm,
your marketing to perform for you. Allow the visibility strategy, your $1 million visibility strategy, to go to work for you and
yeah.
build buzz and momentum around your work. And then guide people through the other things you do once you've solved that key problem that you're well known for solving.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I feel like this happens to me every time I do a podcast. I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember I got to go back and listen to this as the consumer or the listener, right? Instead of the host, because it's like you say so many amazing things and it's like you want to just like press pause and go back and like, okay, yeah, that's right. I need to focus on that. So thank you so much for sharing such insight and such knowledge,
Mm.
to help the listeners kind of put them on the right path towards getting their visibility, finding that passion and the lane that they need to stick in. So I appreciate you being here as a guest. And how can the listeners discover more about what you do, how you can help them, anything that you have coming up that they might want to take advantage of?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, you can connect with me on any of the social platforms. Just give me a little shout out and say you heard me with Tori on Buzzworthy Women Podcast, so I know how you found us. I think one of the things that you would want to start with is I developed this 7-step framework of what
Mm,
needs to be in place in your business so that $1 million visibility is possible for you. And what does
yeah.
that actually mean? And what does that look like? And so if you go to melaniebenson.com/buzzworthy women, that should be easy to remember because you're listening right here,
Love it.
right? Buzzworthy Women. And it's absolutely free. It's my gift to you. But if you download that, it acts kind of like a scorecard of, okay, do I have the puzzle pieces in place so that I can easily borrow visibility from my peers and other influencers and then transform that into profitable, meaningful results? And that's where it breaks
Yes.
down for a lot of people, right, Tori? It's like they're getting the visibility, but maybe not getting the
Profitable.
results. So that's a good
Yeah.
place to start, and I'd love to hear when you download it, what's the big aha for you?
I love that. Yes, I'm excited because I just downloaded it myself, and so I'm going to go through, be a practice what I preach, and telling people to go and do that. So I'm excited to dive in that to that for myself. But Melanie, once again, it's been amazing talking to you. So glad that we had this opportunity to connect, share your expertise and your knowledge with the listeners, and just really appreciate having you as a guest.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me. I just cannot wait to share this episode because there's so much good stuff that, you're creating with your show, so thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So definitely go connect with Melanie on social. Go to that URL, melaniebenson.com/buzzworthy women. Is that correct?
Yep,
Okay, cool. And download that free giveaway that Melanie's offered us. And thank you again. It's been so fun chatting with you.
thank you, Tori, and can't wait to connect with you as well as you're listening in.